Hey guys, so I'm gonna talk to you about planetary magic today. Um, so where to begin? There's a lot of aspects to planetary magic, and so before we get real in depth, I'd like to go kind of over the basics, right? Because in depth planetary magic has a lot to do with working with Solomonic seals, spirits of the planets, and things of that nature. But to better understand that, you have to know the energy that the planets carry in the first place, right? So I took down some notes, and if you guys are in my Hoodoo course, I will upload some grimoire sheets for you that have to do with planetary magic. That way you have them for your records. Um, but if not, stay here. We'll go over everything, okay? So let me pull up my notes real quick while I have you guys. Just one second. Okay, I'm back. So here we go. There are 7 planets that we work with, each correlating with a specific day of the week. So we will start with, today's Wednesday, so let's just start with Mercury. So Mercury rules Wednesdays, right? And Mercury is the planet of communication. Mercury is also the planet of information and networking, travel, trade, merchants, and commerce. When working with the energy of Mercury, you can do anything. It influences good fortune, gratitude, gain, memory, understanding, divination, dreams, selfishness, poverty, and forgetfulness. I'm sorry. You can do workings also to open the roads. We will discuss that more when we get into the actual planetary seals. But that is Mercury. Colors that resonate with Mercury: orange, or really a multitude of colors. When I work with Mercury, though, I always like to work with orange. Some herbs that correlate with Mercury would include mulberry, magnolia, anise, fennel, hazel, heather, honeysuckle, lavender, mandrake, marjoram, mullein, parsley, and southernwood. Let's see, the metals that correlate, and this is important to know when you actually start to do the pentacle work. The metal that correlates with Mercury is aluminum and quicksilver. So that's pretty much all for Mercury. I think that even though I have stated that Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, it's important to note that each day, every planet rules 2 hours out of each day. Okay, so if you were doing Mercury work, or you were doing work and you wanted to work with the energy of Mercury and it wasn't Wednesday, let's say it's Thursday, you could still do it. You just have to figure out the hours of Mercury, and that's easy. You can actually download the app for that, right? You can calculate it, but if I told you how to calculate it, it would be so confusing for you. The easiest method for you would be to just download an app. Okay, so that's Mercury. Then we move into Mars. So Mars is the planet of passion. It is the energy that is invoked when we're working with the warrior spirit. War or battles, attacks, defensive magic, you would use Mars. Increasing or persevering physical strength, and then courage and sexual potency. Influences of Mars include war, male potency, judgment, submission of enemies, bleeding, stripping one of rank, bareness, discord, and conflict. Some herbs that are associated with the Mars planet includes thistle, cacti, dandelion, nettle, arrowroot, bloodroot, ginger, acacia, aloe, all heal, ashwagandha, berry, basil, belladonna, cardamom, catnip, chickweed, chive, coriander, garlic, horseradish, onions, pepper, thyme, wormwood, mugwort, mullein, and mistletoe. Some good crystals that have to do with Mars. Really, anything that correlates with your root chakra is going to correlate with Mars. Okay, so most of your red crystals: ruby, garnet, bloodstone, red agate, red jasper, lotus stone. If I had to pick a chakra that really correlated with the energy of Mars, it would be your root chakra. Okay. Let's see, the day that Mars rules is Tuesday. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. The color associated with Mars is red. The metal associated with Mars is iron and steel. So that's it for Mars. Let me see, did I put anything else interesting on there? No. Moving into the energy of the moon. So the cycles of the moon are important in a lot of magical workings. It is believed in some traditions that the waxing moon, the full moon, the waning moon, and the new moon all have their own special magical properties, and so workings should be planned accordingly. The full moon has long had an aura of mystery and magic about it. It is tied to the ebb and flow of the tide, as well as the ever-changing cycle of the woman's body. The moon is connected to our wisdom and intuition, and many practitioners choose to celebrate the full moon with monthly rituals. So the full moon influences, or the moon, the energy of the moon influences gratitude, friendliness, safe travel, physical health, wealth, protection from enemies, curses, interference with business, work, and vocation. You can do fertility work with the moon. Many people choose to time their workings based on the moon phases. Generally, workings for gain or increase are done during the waxing moon, while workings for banishing, decrease are done during the waning moon. The moon shines its light through the darkness, revealing secrets from all those. So how do I want to say it? It reveals a lot of secrets. So it's very good time during a full moon to go within or do some clarity work during the dark moon, because it's well hidden. That is a good time to work with your shadow energies, I guess I would like to say. So herbs associated with the moon include willow, coconut, hazel, papaya, lilies, wintergreen, eucalyptus, jasmine, lang lang, mugwort, poppy, orris root, and lotus. Some crystals associated with the moon would be moonstone, alexandrite, pearl, clear quartz, white quartz, the black moonstone, that one is good as well. The rainbow moonstone, that one is good as well. Those are all great stones to work with when you're working with the moon's energy. The Monday is ruled by the moon. Colors associated include purple, white, blue, and silver. And the metal associated with the moon is silver. So Jupiter influences may be brought into any magical workings related to religion, faith, legal matters, politics, influencing those in authority or increasing authority or power, fatherhood or patriarchal power or authority. Also, any workings against Saturn influences. Healing related to the liver, purification, the blood, and the circulatory system. In modern times, Jupiter is said to be the ruler of the 9th and 12th house, but traditionally, Jupiter was assigned to the 2nd and 9th house, the house of values and the house of beliefs. So now the 2nd house is actually ruled by Taurus. The 9th house is still Jupiter. So they switched from the 9th to the 12th. The 12th house is Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So yeah. The house of values and the house of beliefs respectively, and had joy in the 11th house of friends and aspirations. So the influences by Jupiter are gains, riches, favor, peace, cooperation, appeasing enemies, dissolving enchantments, recognition, and counsel. Jupiter is associated most often with the deities particularly those identified as kings of the gods who rule over the storms, the sky and the wind, and fatherhood. So, like Zeus is associated with Jupiter. Shango is associated with Jupiter. Who else? Thor is associated with Jupiter, these type of energies. So herbs associated with Jupiter are oak, cedar, pine, olive, juniper, hickory, maple, chestnut, lime, sycamore, flax, borage, liverwort, agrimony, sage, nutmeg, clove, sarsaparilla, and hyssop. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Honorary mention. So minerals and crystals include sapphire, amethyst, and turquoise. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. The color associated with Jupiter is blue, and the metal associated with Jupiter is tin. Moving into Venus. So Venus rules your 7th house, just so you guys know. The planet Venus has been given many names throughout history. It has been called the evening and morning star, the dawn, the dawn star, and Lucifer. It is the planet closest to the Earth and has been called Earth's sister planet, even her twin. It is easy to be seen in the sky in the evening and the morning, as it is the brightest star in the heavens. It was second only to the sun and the moon in significance by the reckoning of many ancient cultures. Venus energies are often utilized in love potions and spells. So the influences of Jupiter include peace, agreements, cooperation, fertility, joy, love, good fortune, jealousy, strife, and promiscuity. Let's see. In medicine, Venus is associated with the lumbar region, the veins, the parathyroid, throat, and kidneys. Venus was thought to be moderately warm and moist and was associated with the... I don't want to talk about that. I don't even know why I put that in my notes. As Venus is often the first light that appears in the evening sky, it is often referred to as the wishing star. So some herbs associated with Venus include apples, pear trees, sweet cherry, red roses, hawthorn, vervain, myrtle, strawberry, foxglove, sandalwood, geranium, cardamom, and spearmint. Minerals associated with Jupiter include emerald, jade, rose quartz, amazonite, coral, amber, and sandstone, pearl shell, and turquoise. Jupiter rules Fridays. The colors associated with Jupiter include green and pink. I personally love to use green in my workings, not pink. If you ever got a Jupiter candle from me, it would have been green. The metals associated with Jupiter include copper and bronze. Moving into Saturn, this is one of my favorite misunderstood planets, okay? In Roman lore, Saturn was the god of agriculture, the founder of civilizations, and of social order and conformity. The glyph is most often seen as the crescent below the cross, whereas the Jupiter's glyph is the crescent above the cross. I like to think of Saturn as like... if Jupiter is paternal, Saturn is the grandfather, right? Saturn is, of course, the planet of karma. However, it's not a planet to be afraid of, okay? People like to work with Jupiter for wealth. However, I feel like Saturn is one of the best planets that you can work with for wealth, because Saturn doesn't just gift you these things, right? It teaches you the lessons so that you can continue to obtain them, so that it's not just in your hand and gone the next day. It teaches you the practicality of management and how to get it, the steps to follow to keep it. So generational wealth and things like that, Saturn, in my opinion, is the best planet to work with. So let's see. The famous rings of the planet Saturn that enclose and surround it reflect the principle of man's limitations. Astrologically, Saturn is associated with the principles of limitations, restrictions, boundaries, practicality, and reality, crystallizing and structures. Influences: safety, power, success, positive response to requests, intellect, causes discord, stripes, humors, and melancholy. Saturn's energy is that of the ruler 1 in charge. Saturn's energy is the ruler of 1 in charge. Saturn's energy is that of law and order, rules, boundaries, and all things inevitable. Death, taxes, fate, and evolution. All the things that people tend to be afraid of, Saturn rules. And because it's inevitable, you might as well get over yourself and become friends with it. Really, for real. So some herbs associated with Saturn include elm, cypress, mountain pine, violet, opium poppy, belladonna, horsetail myrrh, spikenard, cassia, and patchouli. Minerals associated or crystals associated with Saturn include black onyx, jet, slate, obsidian. I love obsidian. Sapphire, smoky quartz, and tourmaline. Something else that I want to say about Saturn. Saturn is the record keeper. Okay, Saturn keeps all the knowledge, all the wisdom. If you want wisdom, you work with the energy of Saturn. He is the record keeper. When you go into the Akashic records, you're going into the energy of Saturn. Okay. If I had to give Saturn a chakra, I guess, to me, I would say it's more of an earth star chakra because it connects firmly with your roots. Why? Because it holds the energy of the records. It holds all the wisdom there. But it's very grounding. This energy is very grounding. So that might be a chakra that I would correlate it with. But Saturn carries very powerful energy. Okay, so Saturn rules Saturday. So Saturday is ruled by Saturn. The color associated with Saturn is black, and then the metal associated with Saturn is lead. Oh, excuse me. And so the last planet that we'll talk about is the sun. The planetary energy of the sun is stimulating and warm. It encourages growth and expansion as well as general good feelings all around. It may be used for magic related to the growth of anything: career, family, public influence, wealth, the garden, friendships, love, general abundance, employment, opportunities, business, period. Because the sun shines down on everything and sees everything that happens. The sun's planetary energy is occasionally used to find objects as well as protecting us from deception and being kept in the dark. Some influences of the sun include potency, success, fortune, tyranny, pride, ambition, overcoming, and being victorious, right? Being victorious is an energy that the sun carries. Looking at the sun's different ways that you can work with it, the energy is used to find a common thread. We're all warmed by the same sun, so it's encouraged to use this when looking for new friends. You can work with planetary sun energy. The sun's energy is very much like your solar plexus, right? And it is very much like the ego, so you better be careful with that. But whenever I'm doing success work, I'll work with the sun frequently. So herbs associated with the sun include the pine, walnut, witch hazel, sunflower, chamomile, yellow roses, marigold, eyebright, St. John's wort, laurel, which is bay leaves, right? Frankincense, cinnamon, and saffron. Crystals associated include tiger's eye, citrine, goldstone, diamond, ruby, chrysolite, red garnet, and then amber. Sundays are ruled by the sun. The colors associated with the sun include yellow, orange, and gold. And then the metal associated with the sun is gold. So now that I've given you the basics on planetary magic, what the planets each stand for and how to use it, I will come back and upload a video about using planetary seals. So please let me know if you guys have any questions underneath this video, if there was something that was not clear. But I want to give you this basics before I move into the straight meat and potatoes, because you have to have this type of understanding. You can go further in depth in your research. There's this book out called Planetary Magick, and I wish I had it with me, but I don't. I will upload a picture of it, of the cover. It's very, very good. So yeah, so that's that. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and then I will get started on the other video.